My name's Andrew Thomas. I'm a practicing psychotherapist on the south coast of England, and I'm the person that developed the concepts and tools on this trigger-orientated therapy website. Although I would like to add that in recent years, the feedback from the hundreds of psychotherapists working with thousands of clients who've integrated these concepts and tools has been absolutely invaluable and essential for moving that development along. So this quick fly through is going to last no more than 5 to 10 minutes, and it's intended to give you an idea as to whether it's going to be a worthwhile investment of your precious time in going through the interactive resources and reconditioning module, which is 80 minutes long. The reason why it's called an interactive module is that a friend of mine or a friend of the family joins me on Zoom, on a recorded session of Zoom. The prerequisite is they know very little or preferably nothing at all about the content of the PowerPoint presentation, and they read each slide quietly to themselves. So, for example, they would read slide 1 that we're looking at the moment at a sort of natural pace, quietly to themselves. And then if they have any questions, once they've read it, they'll ask me. If they've got any reflections, they'll share them. If I've got something else to add, then I'll sort of just throw that in if I think that's going to be useful to anyone looking at this and tuning into this module. So hopefully that while I've been giving you that little of introduction, you've had a little bit of a chance to actually yourself read the module goals. After that, we move on to some definitions. And as with everything on the Trigger-Orientated Therapy website, what I've tried to do is melt out any sort of complex jargon and make this stuff accessible and to people without needing a PhD in it, so that it can be used in client work or perhaps directly into our own lives. So I then go on and give a definition of sort of triggering, and as you can see here, we've got a commuter. So the focus of this website really isn't about sort of the average commuter who just misses the train. They know there's a train 5 or 10 minutes later, so they don't get too worked up typically, and they calm down and wait for the next train. What they've actually done, unbeknown to them, is activate a resource, which is they know another train is just coming along. So this website, Trigger-Orientated Therapy website, is about working with the sort of triggering that causes sort of more intense levels of discomfort, and maybe more, for some of us, more enduring levels of discomfort for us and perhaps others around us as well. So I cover what is destructive avoidance and what is constructive avoidance, which can be useful as a resource, but there won't be any reconditioning if we do that. But sometimes, if it is broken and not fixing it doesn't cause you or anyone else any problems, then that's a worthwhile question to ask yourself, whether it's worth investing the time and effort to fix it. So we then move on to reconditioning, and these 6 slides are my attempt to really condense an awful lot, hopefully in a really digestible way, about why evolution has meant that some behaviours that we have are incredibly resistant, even when they're causing us problems and causing discomfort to us and other people around us. Why that 100,000 years ago, that particular trait was sort of very helpful from a survival perspective, but in today's world can cause us all sorts of problems. And the other thing we look at in these 6 slides is how evolution has also, in a way, given us a back door to get in and recondition those types of behaviours. So that's slides 6 to 11, which is sort of giving us a background and adding a little bit of knowledge for some people that prepares us for the next part of this module, which is starting to really look at how you can use the rainbow map as a tool to target your resource development efforts and also to identify when and be able to activate it when those resources can be most useful in terms of reconditioning. So here's a quick summary of reconditioning, types and styles. But it's just one slide. You can buy books on mindfulness that go into that sort of area in far more depth. And they can generate really useful insights and ideas about how to generate resources. And then we go on into the rainbow map and how you can use the rainbow map, the thoughts column, the sensations columns, the behaviors column, all the things that you entered there, and the trigger cycle and the trigger flag as a sort of resource tools or ways to really target our resource development and when to activate them. I also cover a little bit why emotions, because we've got an emotions column on the rainbow map, why that typically isn't that useful in terms of targeting that development work and that activation work. Just a quick example, if it's raising any questions for you, is if someone's suffering, experiencing discomfort around anxiety, just asking them to be less anxious doesn't typically work. But if we start to use the trigger cycle so that we can notice when we're triggering, that can be a very useful thing so that we can start activating resources. So, for example, in the thoughts column, maybe we've entered critical of others. Well, we can use that entry to start really developing a really focused resource that will help us counter that style of thinking, which will have two particular outcomes, not just that one, but if we target lots of other areas. The two outcomes are it will help us reduce the chances that we'll go above the yellow band and into sort of the quite really uncomfortable areas for us and other people, the orange and red bands of the rainbow map, and down into the darker purple areas in this sort of hide freeze places of the rainbow map. So we look at how you can use thoughts, we look at how you can use sensations and behaviors, all to target our efforts to develop resources and also be able to activate them when they're most likely to do us to be most effective in terms of helping us recondition our behaviors so they play less of a harmful role in our lives going forwards. And as ever, with all of these concepts and tools on this website, it's all about how it's going to integrate into your existing way of working if you're a psychotherapist or counsellor working using the rainbow map or some of the other tools and concepts. Or how you're going to use it maybe in your own life or integrate it into your own life. And then we have a quick look at the trigger cycle and how you can use that as a targeting tool, inflection points like that. And finally, here we are at the summary. So hopefully that's given you a quick fly through in 8 minutes. And there's enough in there, hopefully, for you to think, I think going to the interactive resources and reconditioning module would be a worthwhile use of my time. So with that, I'd like to thank you for giving me these 8 minutes. And I'm going to go silent now. So thanks a lot. Bye.